Hello everybody, welcome back to Throttle Grotto. Sorry for my voice. I lost my voice this week and this is kind of the first day I've actually had it back. So it worked out well because today I got a giant box in from Latvia and I got fog lights. So let's check out these super rare E30 headlights and get them on the car and see how they work. And hopefully they're not broken. All right, so I did cheat and opened the fog light already because I was really curious if it was going to be the same. Sorry, I've been also working on the garage, doing a bunch of stuff out here. So the garage is an absolute disaster. Make it easier for myself. A very well wrapped E30 fog light. So this is the M3 fog that I bought. It does match up pretty well to this whole assembly here. So it does have the pivots on the sides for the mounts. Hopefully it's as easy as unscrewing these and attaching it to this frame and then repairing this frame. It does look like that. So the fog light's in good condition. It showed up undamaged. So that's a good sign because this one is clearly damaged. But the thing I've been excited about is this box here, like seriously straight up from Latvia. I bought these on eBay. They are replacements for because these are damaged too. This one's damaged. This one's actually still good, so I'll keep that one as a spare. Definitely keep all this stuff for spare parts. Like I've got these are the other ones. Hole. Had to finagle some setup here to get these to be able to be seen on camera. From the picture, they were in pretty decent condition, but not perfect. So hopefully, because these are really hard to find from what I understand. They're not what usually people use. Most people will use the smiley headlights, but I kind of wanted to keep this car using what it had from the previous owner. They certainly are packaged well. All right, I cleared off a little space on the welding table, and I can not drop these on the ground. Tell you what, the guy that sold these did a really good job of packaging them for international travel. That is for sure. All right, so first off, that packing job deserves a shout out to classiceuroparts.com. That's who I bought these from. I found them on eBay, so if you need some hero parts and you're going to ship them a long ways, that's your man right there. Or woman. But let's check these lights out. They're still clearly used lights, which I was well aware of going into this. I have no misconceptions that these were used. Some of these prongs are a little bent from shipping or whatever. I think there's a couple of adjusters that are broken. Let's see here. Those all seem like they're staying in place. I think this one had one broken adjuster on, right there. So we're gonna harvest that, hopefully, for one of these other lights, maybe. Not on that light. We're gonna have to look to the driver's side here and see if it also seems likely that none of those are good. Fortunately, with an older car like this, it's really easy to get these things out. couple of Phillips screws and the whole assembly comes out. There's one more there. Just that, sealed beams. You couldn't replace the bulbs. These are fully replaceable. You can replace the bulbs. They also have a little city light in them here. So when the parking lights are on, this should be illuminated. Kind of gives the car a nice look. I like smileys, the ones with the little smile or the projector smileys or whatever. I like those headlights, but here we'd like to preserve as much of the patina on the car as we can. So these are the lights that would have originally came on the car when it was in Europe. So that is what we're going to put back on the car. So first step is to test these out and see what works. See how many bulbs we need to replace right out of the gate, which hopefully is 0. So the city light bulb works. Let's see here. So that's city bulb. So it looks like the low beam on that one is bad. And ground there. Looks like the high beam on this one is bad. All right, before I go buying bulbs, pulled this bulb out already. You can see here it's just looks like an H1. So we're just going to test this on its own. So that's working. So what that tells me is that the whatever connection in here is not making good connection. My guess would be, given the condition of this bulb, it's probably the connection between the bulb and ground. So you can see in here, there's a bit of corrosion. I'm just going to clean that up with this little brush here, best we can. And then since in these, the ground goes through the housing. I don't know if you can see it here. This is the ground wire. It comes through the housing of the light, like that. And we're not getting good connection there yet. Yeah, that connection is pretty bad. You can see all the oxidation coming off of there, which is interesting because the city light worked. It had enough ground for the city light to work, but I think the connection inside where the bulb sits is what's causing some of the issues. All right, after quite a bit of finagling and sanding the bottom of the wire, this little wire that holds the bulb in, I think I have clipped that to the ground. Let's see here, we have city lights. Yep, that's the city light, and that's the headlight. And then over here, we have, this will be the high beam. That's working. So that's good. I've got to repeat that whole process on one more headlight. This looks like the passenger side headlight is now all working. Now I got to test the fog light. This one's a little more complex just because it's got this type of connector in here. So okay, so I just put a screw real gently in the end of that connector to see if it would fire off the bulb, and it did not. It's probably going to help a lot if there's actually a bulb in there. That's just my suspicions, though. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so the fog light didn't work because there was no bulb in it, but I took the old bulb out of this old, crappy, like rusted out housing and cleaned it up. and this bulb still works. So I'm gonna throw this together, put the fog light back together. I do have to make a repair on the housing. I have to like plastic weld these tabs back on. It's so funny that this bulb is the one that still works, and it was basically just sitting out in the elements for years. All right, fortunately for the housing side of it, it's pretty easy to change this out. There's these two little T-clips that hold the pivots in place in the corners here. And I presume this is probably the same for like an E30 M3. But this whole E30 M3 will just drop right into, I think I have to screw this side in first. Let me just push these little tabs back over the top. And that is that. Okay, so one of the things I have to do is I have to fix this trash. Somebody butt spliced all these connectors together, and I don't know why, but I'm just going to go through and solder and shrink wrap all of these to make sure that I don't have a problem with these down the road. I have to do that on both sides. Let's just do this the easy way. 1, 2, 3. All right, so shrink wrapped, fixed, repaired, Tessa taped. Now I can put the headlights back in. And with all the hammering and stuff I've done, I actually got the headlights bolted in place, which I'm actually pretty happy about. Let me get the rest of the front end on, and then this part will be wrapped up. The last piece of the front end puzzle is these here. These are actually a brand new set of European E30 grills, which I ordered off of a website that seemed pretty sketchy. I think it was out of Dubai. One was $25 and the other was like $9. And I think the one that was $9 was the one that I already have. So they do have some old looking decals on them, which might be a good sign. It might be. So this is the driver's side. This is the passenger side. I think this was the one that was $9. It's got a really old decal on it. It looks like the grill. So you can see here, compared to the OEM ones, it's got a little hole in the top there. Probably for headlight adjustment, maybe? But it looks to be... I didn't have this one. This one was gone, but I do have the... Oh, all right. Let's check it out. All right, so you can see it fits pretty good for an aftermarket grill. I mean, given the alternative of how much I could have paid to get OEM aftermarket or OEM Euro grills. I need a bunch of these clips. I'm gonna have to like do a junkyard run for a bunch of these grill clips, and then like the little plastic bushing that the screw goes into here. As you can see here, I got all this pretty close given how primitive my methods of adjusting it was. Like, I didn't even have a grill to go off of, and I got that line pretty good. I'm actually impressed. Like, if I had had this piece here, I probably could have got that like done pretty well. Last thing I'm going to do this episode is show you how the lights look all lit up on the car. Those are the city lights. Just real dim halogens up in the headlight bulb, or in the headlight assembly. I think they look really cool if you haven't seen city lights before. So those are the city lights. There's our headlights. Looks like that one came on slowly, but came on. High beams and fogs. There's the fog. Looks like the bulb on the passenger side. Oh no, it's working. So there we go. So there we go. The whole front of the car is back together and looking pretty good. All right, one last thing I'll show you guys is the back of the car. So everything's working back here, including the trunk light, which is still cracks me up for some reason. But we've got all of the lights on back here. So we've got the regular tails. I swear the license plate lights were working like 5 minutes ago. There we go, license plate lights. Now, of course, this, oh my gosh, this car is reluctant to come back to life, I tell you. There we go. So those, and then this car was pre-wired, you know, from the factory because it was a European car. It was wired for rear fogs, which I think I need to have the key on for. There we go. So yeah, the rear fogs are just a brighter set of tail lights so that when it's crappy out, you can be seen easier. Back in the early days of building Euro cars, we always thought the rear fogs were the coolest. Now a lot of cars actually come with them. All right, so it's not the most exciting update on the BMW, but it is pretty good progress. This whole process took me a lot longer than I thought it would. I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out. I really never got to see this car completely assembled because it was damaged when I got it. So it's nice to see it all back together, all one piece. Clearly I need to still put the hood on, but there's still a lot of work to do under the hood before the hood goes back on. Overall, considering everything happening, personal stuff, still working on the garage stuff, I'm pretty happy with this progress for this week. That's all the time I have for today. Until next time, get out there and work on something.